to see you again.
Good day. Good day.
You ended the little talk here about archetypes with "we also are that." I would say that the I am that we are is the primary source of the God essence because it comes from within us. Would you agree?
Yes. And that's what I said, the I am that I am. But it doesn't matter what you call it.
Right. But isn't that primary for us to understand as humans as opposed to putting it outside of us?
It is a primary understanding that will allow you to experience yourself in a much broader, greater way, but it's not absolutely essential if you have decided to experience a theme or a challenge that prevents you from understanding that in a particular life, because that can be a learning experience as well. But nevertheless, whether you learn it or not, it is the primary truth. It exists that way, whether you realize it or not. But yes, the realization of it is what allows you to grow and discover yourself from many different points of view.
Right. So let me ask you, these past 2 years that we've been sort of in this transition period with the whatever's been going on, have they been a vibrational adjustment for us to prepare for first contact?
Partly, yes. But again, a vibrational adjustment for you to be able to be more of yourselves, which is preparation for open contact, because only by being more of yourselves will you be prepared for open contact.
Now, partly what's been coming out from the government side of disclosure is that these, in this latest book called Skinwalker at the Pentagon, they talk about the paranormal element of the contact experience. And they say there's a negative aspect to these orbs that are appearing. Is there a way to turn that negative aspect around and make it a positive thing that the government is not seeing?
Yes, of course. First and foremost, by understanding that what they're saying about there being a negative aspect is false. It's their reflection, their experience of their own fear-based belief system that is allowing them to experience it as a negative aspect. But the essence of the phenomenon in and of itself is not presenting itself in a negative way. But it is calling forth from those that experience it the idea, as we have described before, of bringing their consciousness into closer contact with their own fear-based beliefs, which allows them to project upon the phenomenon the idea that it is the phenomenon that is negative, instead of facing the fact that it is their own belief system that is negative.
So when we change our beliefs, of course, you've talked about this, the not just everything else, but our relationship to first contact or contact changes.
Yes, of course.
And then, so we are in this incubation process, and is there something we need to do more of in order to activate the consciousness? Yes, follow your excitement, all that. And
why would you think there would be more than that? We have given you the formula and told you that it is a complete kit and leaves nothing relevant out. We give it to you that way and are explaining it that way so you won't have to ask, is there more? That's the full instruction manual. All you have to do is actually act on it precisely and completely, and you will understand how it works, and you will understand there doesn't need to be anything more unless you decide that you wish to add something to it for the purposes of experiencing your own self-chosen process. But beyond that, there is no more. Follow the instructions, follow the formula, and you will open all of the tools that automatically are built into it, and you will get exactly what you need, exactly when you need to get it. You don't need anything more than that. Keep it simple. Don't overthink it.
Is there a particular reason you wanted to talk about archetypes today? Is there something more than our expansion of consciousness we need to embrace with that concept?
It's about understanding yourselves as aspects, true reflections of all that is. And the next transmission, titled Mirror, Mirror, will help drive this home more deeply within you, so you can really start experiencing yourself as an aspect, as a spark of the light of all that is. So yes, we build upon different things one at a time, building them up in a way that we perceive will work for those who understand and are willing to understand these concepts and take them to heart.
Are we still on track or are things shifting as you see it as far as first contact coming in the next 10 or 15 years?
In general, you are still on track, but again, it depends on what you decide to do in the years ahead that will shift you to different versions of Earth that may already be experiencing the idea of open contact.
Thank you, Bashar.
Good day.
Thank you.
Hello, Bashar. This is Sandra from Miami, Florida. I had a dream that I would like your insights on. On September 30th, in the middle of the night, I was awakened by a sensation of like being plugged into a current of electricity, so to speak. My whole body it felt like it was vibrating, and I was perceiving a presence of an ET, a male, and I just remember being afraid to look up into his face because I was kind of afraid of being afraid, which I guess is another belief I can take a look at. And I just wanted to know what truly happened in that moment, and if that sensation of electricity or vibration was my own resistance. Any insights would be appreciated. Thank you and good day.
All right. Well, yes, the energy was your own energy, and there was some resistance, but this is what we've described before as the reason why we can't just land. There may be many extraterrestrial forms that you can interact with relatively easily, but some extraterrestrial forms, including ours, operate on a much different frequency domain than you. We come from a parallel reality that is 10 times faster than yours. And the idea of being exposed directly to our energy physically would, in fact, allow all of the different kinds of fear-based belief systems within you to be forced to the surface and can cause the idea of psychic shock. So we give you this information to allow you the process of transforming yourself and raising your frequency in a way that is safe for you to meet our frequency more easily, become more vibrationally compatible with higher frequency beings so that you can interact with them without resistance and without experiencing the idea of what you experienced and the fears you experienced in that encounter. Nevertheless, you were given enough of the difference in energy between you and a higher being, a higher frequency being, to allow you to integrate that energy within yourself, to get used to the idea that you're experiencing your own energy on a higher level, and therefore raise to that frequency, to meet that frequency, to become more vibrationally compatible with the being that you're dealing with, which is most likely a counterpart version of you in another reality that's helping you bootstrap yourself up the frequency ladder. So have fun with it. Don't be afraid. But if fear comes up, find the belief system that generates the fear. Because remember, you can't have an emotional experience without believing something to be true first. So you're given an opportunity by experiencing the fear to examine those areas in your consciousness where you have a belief that would generate the fear you experienced in that encounter. Remember, you're fundamentally an indestructible being. So there's nothing to be afraid of. Nothing can truly annihilate you. Even though your survival mechanisms in the lower part of your brain may kick in, there is really nothing to be afraid of.
Hello.
Good day.
Hello, Bashar.
Good day.
Really I am really excited to be communicating with you right now, and we've been in conversation for quite some time. And I was thinking today about how quite some time ago connected around the idea of anima, one of your social engineers, and in a discussion of art. And I feel like the project that, maybe some seeds were planted way back when is now coming more into bloom. And it's an interesting moment because I'm about to transition into having my time to myself to create in a way that I haven't before. So
how exciting.
It's incredibly exciting. And I've really been using, the formula to work with that and like keeping my mind open, even as it's like twisted and turned in interesting ways. So I'm just curious if there's anything, any follow up with anima around this like art project.
All right. Are you having fun doing this, I assume?
Yes, I am.
All right. Well, what else do you need to know except to keep moving forward? and exercise your creative imagination?
I don't really need to know anything more, but it would be interesting to know more if there was anything specific, because I was just reflecting on
All
that.
right. Well, let me ask you the question. Why do you think that you're missing something?
I don't know that I feel like I'm missing something.
But you're asking, is there anything more? Which implies that you think something's missing.
That's a good point.
Thank
You always
you.
make really good points, Bashar. I guess I was just curious about it. If there was,
If you were missing something?
I mean, if there was more to unfold in that particular direction.
Do you feel like you're not doing enough? That you're not expressing the idea of your art as fully as you possibly could be? Are you holding back your creative imagination in one direction or another?
I think to some extent I was, but I don't think that that's going to be true going forward, because I will have more energy to dedicate to that more specifically.
Is there a particular expression that you're more excited about than any other that you haven't begun expressing yet?
Not exactly. It's more that I feel that I have to rush when I'm doing it, because
Why?
there were other things. Why?
Yes, why? Do you not believe in the understanding of synchronicity's perfect timing?
I do, but I still get caught up in...
Excuse me. When a person on your planet says, I do, but, that means they don't.
Fair enough. Can you understand it sometimes and not other times?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
But the idea is, why don't you understand it at other times? It's fine when you understand it and move forward in the way that works for you and is representative of your passion. But we don't have to talk about that. We're talking about the times when you don't stay in that vibration and what would be the reason for that. So let's go back to what you said. Why do you believe you have to rush? What's your hurry? Do you have a deadline?
Sure. I think I'm just transitioning out of that. And I guess this is that transition that a lot of us are going through, of letting go of things that we don't really need to hold on to anymore. So I think I'm at one of that, major stages right now of letting that go.
All right. Congratulations. Do you understand the paradox that sometimes you have to slow down to speed up?
Sure. Yes. That I've experienced viscerally. Yeah.
All right. Well, would you like to keep experiencing it?
Sure.
Then why choose anything else? Why choose any reason that takes you out of that state, if that's what you say you prefer to be in? Why?
I think I'm sometimes influenced by the people around me.
You are never influenced by the people around you. You take upon yourself to influence yourself based on what others may say or do, but they don't actually ever directly influence you. You influence yourself based on some reason for matching the frequency that they're offering you. So why would you do that if those frequencies are not vibrationally compatible with what you prefer?
And would that mean that empathy is that different than empathy? Or I might be just, I think...
There is a difference, because empathy and compassion can allow you to understand what a person may be experiencing for themselves, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you take that energy on yourself, that you convert your own vibrational frequency in a way that allows you to feel more than you need to understand. Empathy is more of a vibrational matching just for the purpose of understanding. Whereas, just to use another word in your language, if you overly sympathize with someone, then you may be taking on the vibration beyond what you need to simply understand them, and you may then be starting to actually match the negative frequencies that they may be giving off and experiencing some of what they're experiencing. Now, again, some people can use that to positive effect, but is that what you need to do with your art?
No, I don't think so.
All right. Art in its various forms is a mirror that allows people that are looking at the art, looking at the mirror, to see different aspects and understand different aspects of themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So you can use your experiences with other people and put it in your art, if you wish, in a way that allows people to understand the things that you are observing, the things you're understanding about your relationship to other people. But certainly you don't have to ever stop yourself by lowering your vibration to a level that doesn't necessarily represent where you prefer to be. Unless, again, you're making an art out of doing that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still your choice.
Right.
Remember, that's your greatest power, the freedom to choose.
Right.
So, whenever you may choose something that you don't really prefer, stop, take a moment, take a breath, and ask yourself, what is the reason I'm creating, even in an artistic way, to make this choice? Do I really have a positive reason for doing this? Can I apply this in a positive way? Or do I really need to do this at all? Take the time to examine those things and find out what the reasons are for why you would choose to do what you're doing and why you would choose to experience and feel what you're feeling and experiencing, because that's the result of a belief.
You're right.
Yes, I know. That's why I said it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Well, thank you, Bashar. As always, I appreciate our interactions and thank you.
Did that serve you?
It did.
All right, then we thank you for your interaction. Have a good day.
You too.
Always.